Have you ever met someone who seemed almost unreal in the way they charmed you? The kind of person who always says the perfect thing, who makes you feel seen in a way no one else has, who pulls you into their orbit so quickly that you stop questioning if what you're experiencing is even real. I have. And for a while, I believed I had stumbled onto something extraordinary. I thought I had found someone who understood me on a level no one else ever had. But here's the truth. I had to learn the hard way. Sometimes charm isn't connection, it's performance. Sometimes empathy isn't genuine. It's turned on like a light switch only when it serves a purpose. And sometimes the warmth you feel from someone is not an act of love, but a calculated strategy designed to keep you hooked. Most people, when they hear the word sociopath, imagine the villains from movies, cold-blooded killers, manipulative masterminds, people without remorse. But that's not the full story. Sociopaths are not monsters. They are people. People whose brains work differently. People who learn to survive in ways that don't always look like kindness. And while understanding them matters, it doesn't mean excusing them. This isn't about hate, and it isn't about justification. It's about awareness. It's about empathy balanced with accountability. Through my story, I want to show you what it felt like to get pulled into the charm of someone with sociopathic traits, how psychology explains their behavior, and most importantly, how I eventually found the strength to step away. When I first met them, it felt like magic. Every word they spoke landed exactly where I needed it. If I was upset, they mirrored my feelings perfectly. If I was happy, they celebrated me like I was the most important person in the world. They told me I was special, different, unforgettable. Compliment after compliment came my way, and for the first time in years, I felt like I mattered. That flood of attention was intoxicating. I told myself, this is it. This is what real connection feels like. But slowly the cracks appeared. I started noticing the silence. One day they'd text me all morning calling me amazing, making plans for the future. The next, nothing. No messages, no replies. I stared at my phone for hours, replaying our conversations, wondering what I had done wrong. The more they pulled away, the more desperate I became to win their attention back. Then came the unpredictability. One night we laughed until 2 a.m., and they told me no one had ever understood them like I did. The next morning they snapped at me over something small, and when I tried to reach out, they went cold. I felt whiplash, swinging from joy to anxiety, from certainty to doubt. I remember one moment vividly sitting alone in my room after being ignored for days, staring at the screen of my phone. My stomach twisted into knots, whispering to myself, "What's wrong with me? Why am I never enough?" That was the climax of my confusion, the moment I realized I wasn't in a relationship. I was in a cycle that made me addicted to their approval. When I finally started researching, the pieces fell into place. I learned that sociopaths often say, "What's correct, not what's real." Research in brain shows they can turn empathy on when they want to, but it isn't automatic. That explained why they always agreed with me, always echoed what I felt, but rarely revealed anything genuine about themselves. It wasn't connection, it was performance. I also discovered that people with antisocial personality disorder often show reduced activity in the mirror neuron system, which is tied to empathy and bonding. That explained why they never built real attachment the way I expected. Their charm wasn't natural. It was practiced, something they could turn on with anyone at any time. And then, there was the emotional instability. The American Journal of Psychiatry found that sociopaths often overreact to threats or rejection. They weren't driven by fear of abandonment like people with borderline personality disorder. They were driven by the need to protect their ego. That's why one minute they were laughing with me, the next they were cold or even aggressive. And the cycle of hot and cold. That wasn't random. Psychology calls it intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that keeps gamblers hooked, winning just enough times to keep playing. Every time they gave me warmth and then withdrew it, they were training me to chase them. The more I chased, the more power they had. Realizing this was both devastating and freeing. Devastating because it forced me to admit the connection I believed in wasn't real. Freeing because I finally had a framework to understand what was happening. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't broken. I was reacting exactly the way the human brain reacts to this kind of manipulation. The turning point came when I started writing things down. Every time they love-bombed me, every time they ignored me, every moment of affection, and every stretch of silence, I tracked it all. Seeing the pattern on paper was like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, I couldn't deny what was happening. It wasn't me. It wasn't my fault. It was a cycle. The next step was setting boundaries. The first time they came back after ignoring me for days, I didn't respond immediately. My hands shook as I held my phone, but I waited. And that waiting gave me power. It reminded me I had a choice. I wasn't just a puppet on their string. I also leaned on the people I trusted. I told Jenny, my closest friend, everything. She listened, and then she said words I'll never forget. Alex, this isn't about you. This is about them. That sentence broke the spell. It pulled me out of the fog long enough to see clearly. But the hardest part wasn't noticing the pattern or setting boundaries. The hardest part was shifting my mindset. I had to accept that understanding doesn't mean tolerating harm. I could recognize that this person had struggles rooted in their psychology, but that didn't mean I had to let those struggles destroy me. That realization hit me like a wave, the climax of my journey. And in that moment, I made the decision that changed everything. I walked away. It hurt more than I wanted to admit. Part of me still clung to the hope that maybe, just maybe, the charm was real. But walking away gave me back my peace. It gave me back my dignity. And it gave me back the chance to build connections based on authenticity, not performance. Looking back, I see now that not all charm is genuine, and not every connection is safe. Some people don't connect the way we do, and no amount of effort can change that. But I also see that leaving wasn't weakness, it was strength. It was the moment I chose to stop letting someone else's inconsistency define my worth. And that's the message I want to leave with you. Understanding someone doesn't mean excusing their harm. You can empathize with their struggles and still protect yourself. You can care without sacrificing your safety. And you can walk away without guilt. If you've ever been in a situation like mine, know that you are not alone. You don't have to keep proving your value to someone who can't see it. So I'll ask you this. Have you ever met someone whose charm felt perfect, but later revealed itself as a mask? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if this video gave you clarity, don't forget to share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe for more insights into psychology. And stay tuned, because in the next video, we'll explore how sociopaths compare to psychopaths, narcissists, and dark empaths, who might actually be the most dangerous of all.